Okay, so I've kinda been tagged by Bryan Lomax from Bryan Lomax Movie Talk for the simple movie tag. I think someone else tagged me too, but the one that caught my attention was Bryan, as always. So I'm going to do this tag and then tag a few people at the end of this, and everyone's been doing the simple movie tag, but it's fun to do these kind of tags. I'm losing my voice. There we go. So number one, what is your favorite and least favorite film? Empire Strikes Back and Rabbit Test. Number two, no, Empire Strikes Back, standard answer, it's just the best. Least favorite film, Rabbit Test, an absolute abortion. Number two, who is your favorite actor and actress? I was annoyed that Randy Mole on Jambo Shango's channel, he kind of took my favorite actor, beat me to the punch, Michael Keaton. And my favorite actress, similarly to Michael Keaton, is Sigourney Weaver, in that I don't think that Michael Keaton or Sigourney Weaver are in even the top 20 best actors or actresses of all time, but I just love them in everything they do. Michael Keaton, from Batman to Birdman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Beetlejuice, those kind of outlandish roles, but also his more kind of less talked about roles in films like Clean and Sober. He's just so good in everything he does. I've seen every film he's been in. You know, I have so many favorites: The Paper, Speechless, The Dream Team, Multiplicity. The list goes on and on. I think he's a phenomenal actor who doesn't get enough credit. The Founder, he was recently fantastic in. And Sigourney Weaver, you know, it really is mostly because of Aliens, you know, and not even the other Alien films, just Aliens in general. It's just one of my favorite films, but also she's great in you know, Ghostbusters or Gorillas in the Mist. She's fantastic as Diane Fossey in that film. That left a real impression on me. So yeah, Sigourney Weaver is always going to be my favorite, I think. But I have lots of, you know, favorite actors who are kind of more in their prime. You know, Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Gosling. I'm always interested in what those guys do. As for actresses, Rooney Mara, who's in everything now, but she's fantastic. She always gives at least a really good performance, and you know, she was amazing in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Side Effects she was really good in. I'm trying to think, Ain't Them Body Saints she was fantastic in. You know, yeah, love Rooney Mara. Elizabeth Olsen is one who's climbing up there too. Zoe Dutch, if that's how you pronounce her name, Leah Thompson's kid. She's going to be a real interesting one to follow, because I thought she was fantastic in Everybody Wants Some, and she was the best part of Before I Fall, which wasn't a great film, not that great, but she was really good in it, so I think she's got quite a bright future. Who's your favorite director? Hayao Miyazaki. You know, just I love every single one of his films, more than I can say of any other director. If you want me to give you someone who isn't an animation director and a live action director, it'll probably be Richard Linklater, just purely based on how many films has this director made that I would give a 10 out of 10. And I think Linklater is like 8 films or something ridiculous like that, like Slacker, Dazed and Confused, the Before trilogy, Everybody Wants Some, Boyhood, 7 films right there. You know, I love Linklater's style. A lot of people, I think, equate, you know, a great director with a visual style of a film. You know, like, oh, the cinematography, the way the film is shot. To me, that's not everything a director does. It's really about, you know, harnessing, you know, a team who are going to make a great film, from, you know, the writer, or if they're writing it themselves, to, you know, molding the performances of the actor, or nurturing, cultivating the performances of the actor. And I think Linklater just does an amazing job of putting these really natural performances on screen. Obviously the actors are doing the work too, but I really feel like the job of a director is more than just a visual style sometimes, because I certainly wouldn't say that Linklater's films scream amazing cinematography or that they look fantastic, but it's about the characters and the story, which is always the beating heart of any film. Number 5, what is your favorite movie genre? Don't really have one. I love all kinds within reason. Not some of those more extreme subgenres, but I would say if I had to pick one, it would be sci-fi, purely because more of my favorite films are in that genre: Star Wars, Blade Runner, etc. Aliens, loads of great films. I guess you could kind of call Back to the Future sci-fi too. But yeah, I'm not one of those kind of like genre people. I know there are people on YouTube who, you know, the horror people, or you know, well, I guess it's mainly the horror community that's kind of the biggest, I think, that stands out in the YouTube movie community. But there are people who love purely sci-fi, or they love just comedies, or people who just love romantic comedies, you know, romantic movies in general. But I would say science fiction, I suppose. What is your favorite horror movie? Probably The Thing, or Alien, or The Shining. In fact, if you were to say what is well, yeah, I'd say it's The Thing. But I will say that I think the most effective horror movie I've ever seen is probably The Exorcist. That knocked my socks off when I watched it last year, properly for the first time. Number 6, what's your favorite animated movie? That would be Porco Rosso, closely followed by Kiki's Delivery Service. Porco Rosso I wouldn't put in the top 20, 30, maybe even 50 best animated films ever made, but I just love every single thing about it. I've talked about it far too much. I just love that world, the setting, the characters. Huge fan of that film. Number 7, what's your favorite soundtrack and or score? Hard to really nail down. I think John Williams' soundtrack for, or score for The Empire Strikes Back is so great. I mean, he's done so many great movies, you know, Indiana Jones. As far as themes go, iconic themes, Superman, Jaws, like holy shit, this guy has put together some of the most iconic movie themes of the past, you know, 40, 50 years. And Star Wars is another one, but Empire Strikes Back, not only have you got like the Star Wars theme, you've got that kind of you know, Yoda's theme, the Force theme, you've got the Imperial March, like it's just an incredible score. But I think probably Vangelis' score for Blade Runner might be my favorite, just because of how different it is. That you haven't heard anything like that score, and it is so powerful. You know, you put on that first track, and it's a goosebump, hair standing on end track, and it takes you into that world in such a way that I don't think I've felt with any score before. So I'm gonna go with Vangelis, but there's so many of them. Hans Zimmer is another legend of movie scores, and Joe Hisaishi has done some incredible stuff with the Ghibli films. Number 8, what is your best cinema experience? Hard to nail down, there's so many of them. Immediately one that springs to mind is Shaun of the Dead 2004. Half full room, you know, opening day. Everyone in that room was a Spaced fan, and it really felt like it. Like all the little references we're all laughing at together. It felt like this big communal experience that was really something unlike anything, you know. And other great cinema experiences would be probably seeing The Dark Knight Rises for the first time at 5 AM in the morning. That was really something. You know, those big movies that you think about that you went to see, The Force Awakens. Like, the only time I've ever experienced an applause at the end of a film. That was really, really special. I'll never forget that. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, expecting a great film, and coming out of it one of the best films I'd ever seen. And also it had a special element to it. Even though there was bad things about that cinema experience, it was so good that it overrode the bad things, because there were some knobheads in the other side of the room. But I'll leave it at that. What is your favorite guilty pleasure movie? I don't have guilty pleasures. I really like Twilight, quite a good deal, I think. I remember when that film came out, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Went and read the first 3 books. Really enjoyed them. Not great books, but you know, I enjoyed them, you know. And then the rest of the Twilight series just kind of slowly tailed off from there, unfortunately. But you know, I really enjoyed Twilight before it became a thing to hate Twilight, and I can see why people don't like them, but I think it became so much of a teen thing, and so much of a, you know, girls fawning over it and everything, that it kind of worked against it in a way. But I'll always say, I really like Twilight. I think it's a really good film. But I don't have any guilty pleasures, because I'm not guilty of anything that I enjoy. So I'm trying to think, what's the worst movie that I really enjoy? Probably Troll 2, maybe, because it's just so much fun with how bad it is, or Batman and Robin. It's so entertaining, even though it's really bad. So yeah, you know, there's not much to say. I could say Last Action Hero, but I genuinely think that's a great film, so we'll leave it at that. Number 10, what is your favorite foreign film? Seven Samurai. You know, I mean, it's one of my favorite films ever. It's just incredible, and you know, in one man's words, Seven Samurai it's quite alright. It really is. But I mean, Seven Samurai is such a stock answer for me, so if I was to take that out of the equation, that'd be a bit more interesting. I don't know what my favorite foreign film would be. And again, take out the Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli movies as well. Probably, maybe, The Phantom Carriage, I think. Yeah, or Woman in the Moon. 2 silent films from Sweden and Germany. They'd be very close, I think. Actually, The Phantom Carriage is a far better film, so probably The Phantom Carriage. And that's it. So, fun, some cool questions. I tag Ryan Chataway and also his beard to do this movie tag. I also tag CP of Will I Like It Reviews. I'd love to see you huff and puff and sigh and groan your way through another tag video. And last but not least, Dennis from the blue corner. I would love to see your answers to these 10 questions if you haven't done it already. So Dennis, get to it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That was the simple movie tag. Pretty simple.
He's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.